So hello everyone, this is Anishu of Group 6 and today we will be presenting our solution, the Novel Nexus, to all of you. So let's start with a brief overview of our project. So what is Novel Nexus? Novel Nexus is a full stack web application designed to be a comprehensive platform for web novel readers. It aims to create a vibrant community where users can read, review, and discuss novels while authors can publish and manage their works. The platform is intended to function like a social media site for book enthusiasts, providing an interactive space for readers and authors alike. Now, this project is made using MERN-stat, that is MongoDB, which we will be adding in future iterations, Express, React, and Node.js. The platform will include several functionalities for user authentication, novel management, author management, and social interactions such as reviews, comments, and likes. Now, for user management, user can create accounts, post reviews, suggest books, and comment and like posts. Authors can upload novels and chapters. Users can also apply to become authors by selecting a pen name. For novel management, authors can upload novels and manage chapters releases on daily or weekly basis. Users can read and interact with chapters through comments, likes and replies. Now, for social features, users can interact with each other through reviews, comments, and likes, fostering a community of vibrant atmosphere. Now, let's start with the code explanation. For the code explanation, the for my part in the code explanation, I've basically done the authentication and the user model. Basically, using the user model for authentication as well. In this iteration, we are using file system in place of database, and we will be adding the MongoDB database in future iterations. For now, we are basically using a write file and a read file function to write and read the files in JSON format, as you can see right here in the data folder. Now, coming to the users model, basically the user controller, where the function to fetch all the users or to fetch the user by name and fetch the user by ID are written. So basically, first of all, we are fetching the write and read file functions from the info.js file that we have created. Next, in this, there is the most important function that I wish to explain, that is the get user by ID function. This function is not directly used anywhere, but it is an important function that is used in many of the functions as a middleware to fetch the details of the users based on the functionalities that they have introduced. Now, coming to the auth controller file, that is the authentication controller file. Here we are again fetching the read and write file function, and we are basically adding new users using the sign up user function. And we are logging users by checking if the users exist and checking if the password that the user has entered is correct or not. That is, it matches with the password that is already stored in the database or not. Finally, another function, logout. This function is simply setting the token, the JWT token that we have created, to null and showing a message login successful to the user. Now, coming to a brief explanation for the sign up user function. Here, basically, we are passing three parameters: the name, the email, and the password. And we are checking if the email that the user has entered already exists in the database or not. By database, what I mean is the file system, the JSON files. If the email already exists, then we will basically show the user that the email already exists and will not allow the user to create a new account. Again, if the email does not exist, then the user is able to create a new object, that is a new user, and store it into the database, that is the file system. Again, for hashing, I'm using decrypt so as to not directly store the password into the database. And finally, coming to the login function, in the login function, we are basically checking if the password entered by the user is equal to the password that is stored in the database. Of course, the password must be hashed, and the hashed password is checked for security reasons, obviously. Now, if the password stored in the database matches with the password that the user has entered, then we are creating a token. This token is basically used to check if the user is already signed in or not, so as to make sure that we are not logging in for each and every functions that we are utilizing in our application. Now, for again, we are using a middleware for checking if the token that the user have created is valid or not. For that token, we are using this verify token function, and we are calling it in all the modules. As you can see, suppose let's see here, the is logged in function. As you can see, the is logged in function requires the authentication middleware, and it checks if the authentication is already done or not. Now, coming to a brief explanation for this. Basically, we are checking if the token that the user has created when logging in is stored in the cookies or not. If the token is not stored in the cookies, then we are basically sending a message that the token is required. And if it is in the cookies, then we are basically decoding that token and storing it in request user. And we are implementing the next middleware. Now, with that, the code explanation for my part is complete. Now, let's see it in action in the front end. First of all, let's sign up with a new user. Let's say the name of our user is Madhav. Now, madhav@gmail.com. And for now, let's keep the password as password only. Now, let's sign up. Now, sign up is successful. We can see that the sign up is successful by checking our database only. In the database, you can see that a new user has been created with the role of user. The user will also have a role of author, which my friend Ansh will explain how. Now, let's go and log in with Madhav. Madhav@gmail.com, and let's see the password as password. As you can see, we have successfully logged in. With that, the explanation for my part is complete. Now, my friend Hardik will proceed with the explanation further.
Hi everyone, I am Hardik. I am basically designing the front end and the multi part of our project, that is known Nexus. So in SRC, there are basically two folders, assets and components. In assets, basically all our images are there that have been used in our part, and you can say website. And in the components, all are components of each and every function. You can say like, for example, if the navigation bar is on our web page, so navigation bar has its own components, means own file. So here is our navigation bar. Here we have used the Tailwind for our CSS because Tailwind provides us many features, and it will be very useful for us in the short period of time to make any websites. My you can say next component is basically login page, where we have used the use state that is set to the null so that each and every person can log in. So here is the code for the login. So basically we have how we are fetching our, you can say, from user from the backend by inserting the environment. We have taken the, you can say, localhost variable stored in a variable, and that we have set up in our in a environment, and the environment is used as a variable again. So here you can see we have set up an environment that is connecting our front end to the backend, basically that part of our component to the backend, so that it will function that accordingly. So also we have used the Exos library for the, you can say, post get methods. It is easy to fetch or post through this library. So now the next main component is our book component. Basically, when we will start our demo or presentation for the websites, basically front end, when we will show after oral demonstrations for the backend. So in that area, you can see basically we have each small parts of novels for that the author have posted. So the part of the front end is designed basically in this area. The basically all the book novels or the books is fetched from the backend from the each author and shows in the each users, you can say any user who is logging or sign up to that websites. Basically it is fetching all the data from the books detail, and from after fetching from the books detail, it is showing in this format. Now next component is our basically form. In that we have used a fetch post, basically, which is a asynchronous function, basically that is working, you can say, uh, in the backend, multiple posts, or you can say multiple URLs can be fetched at the same time. So that is our form. Now I will redirect to it to our home page. Basically this is our home page. In that we have pulled out all the components, NABA, interest and display books, and these all the routing I have done in the app.js, where all the routing part of the done. And there also we have used a token. In that basically if the user is, like previously I have explained, if the user is changing something or logging after logging, basically fetching any data or nothing, so that that user can spend 1 day with that token. So the another part which I have done in this basically project is a multi part. So now I will show you the multi part code. Basically So here is my multi-part code middleware. So basically, Multer is a type of middleware, or you can say a callback function, which will, after doing all the part, it will call the CB. In CB, we have, you can say we have uh, set the value to the null, and our cover part photo path is basically a string, and that will create a new folder. In that new folder, all the images that we are uploading is saved here. So we can use the multi in the 2-3 different ways. Basically, we have used the multi in a way, in a callback function way, so that each and every time, whenever the user or the author is uploading any cover photo or the photo for the novel, basically it will the photo will be also open in the backend part. Basically, you can say whenever any user, or you can say any person, author is uploading, the uploading part is done in the view form. Basically, Multer is used for uploading, taking a form data or a multi-part data that helps, and that helps me. It basically it changes our form data into a JSON data, so that the image can also be reloaded whenever another user or another author is trying to see that. There, I have written our API or the URL where we have to upload the post. So first of all, we have to go into the body, because before time I have explained the Multer is accepting only the multi-part of the form data. So here we have to go to the form and click on the files, and here we have to give the field names. Field names is basically, as you can see, title, content, and user ID. The small d. So I have sending this, and this is sent. Now we will check that in our post section. As you can see, the code is becoming sometimes bad. So the my part is over. Now my friend Ansh will explain you the further part.
Hi guys, I'm Aish. My part was to create the author controller and adding the new novels part, as we can see novels controller. So first let's see the author controller. Here we can apply a user. A user can apply for authorship. As you can see, we have multiple users here. Some of the users are authors. See, like this is a user, but this is not an author. But this user can apply to become an author, and after becoming an author, he will be able to post his new novels. So let's see the author controller. Here we have the user ID, pen name, and bio. These three fields are required to become an author, and then it's easy after that. Now let's try to make a user an author. Let's take this user for an example. As you can see, the role here is as a user, and in order to make this user an author, we need the user's ID. Currently, I am doing it in backend because we haven't implemented this feature in the front end yet, but that is there for the future scope. As you can see that I have copied this user's ID. Now let's paste the user's ID here. This is the route for the user, and let's name it as the Dark Devil, and its bio as I try to live my imagination. As we send it, as you can see that we have received the status code of 200 and OK, and the messages that you have become an author. Now let's check in the users.json. Here you can see that before the person was referred as a user, and now the role has been converted to author. We also have a separate file for the authors where only authors are listed. Let's check that if it has been added. As you can see here, the last author that has been added, the Dark Devil, that we have just added by using this backend. So the next part of mine was adding a new novel. So in the front end, here you can see that we have three novels. Okay, so in order to add a new novel, what we need to do is we need to send a Thunder client request. In that request, we have some necessary fields such as the title, the description, the cover photo of the new novel, and an intro video. So in order to add a new novel, here is the API. So this is the URL to add the new novel, and we need to add the user ID. The user ID here needs to be of an author, as the user cannot add a new novel. So let's copy an author's user ID. Here you can see that the author that we just created, the Dark Devil, we are copying this author's ID. We have pasted the author's ID here, and the title of a novel will be The Night We Died, and the description can be as simple as this is a new novel. And in intro video, we need to, this is a special feature that we added. In this, we can use any YouTube videos link here. For example, if we go to YouTube, and we need to add a videos link. Okay, so for example, let's put up this video, and we need to take its link, edit link. Okay, so as you can see, I am copying the link here. I have copied this link from here, and I need to paste this link in this intro video part. I pasted the copied link from here, and we also need to upload a cover photo. Let's select a cover photo for this novel. I have this cover photo with me. I'll use this. So as you can see, we have uploaded the user ID of the author, the title, description, intro video, and the cover photo. Let's send it. As you can see, the novel has been uploaded with the status code 201 created. We also have a novels.json file system. In this, let's see if a novel has been added. As you can see here, the title, The Night We Died, has been added, and it also contains the video. Now this is all for the backend. Now let's see what happens in the front end. These are the old novels that I was telling you about. As you can see, as soon as the page refreshes, this is the new novel that we just added. This is the title of the novel, the cover photo, and the description. This is the intro video that we copied the link from the YouTube video. Here are no reviews yet because the reviews can be posted in the backend, and that will be explained later by my friend Akshay. So that's all from my part. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Akshay. So my part in this project is to make a review model in which the users can put the review on the books which were posted by the authors. So basically, it is used for having the comment to the books which were posted by the author, so that the other normal users can also view the books, that they have some idea of the books. So now let's see that how our code works. So first of all, in the novel controller.js, in the upload review function, so this function is based on the two parameters, request and response. So here are some of the parameters which are needed, which are user ID, novel ID, review title, and review content. If they are not present, then it will return a 400 code status and put a message which is review content required. Then in this read file, all the paths were merged into a single file and will be stored in the JSON file. Then for the new review, these all fields were required, and this UUID function was imported by me, which is used to give the unique IDs to all the reviews. Now next, this is the add reply to the review, which is further making some comments on the review. Now next, these are get review method in which we can fetch all the reviews posted by the users. Then this is get review by ID, from which we can get the reviews by ID. Then these all were the methods and functions which we had exported, that they can be used in other files too. Now let's test our code in the Thunder client. First of all, we should add the required fields which I had told you earlier, which were user ID, novel ID, review title, and review content. Here I am not going to put the novel ID because it is already fetched here. So let's add an ID of the users from the existing users. So I am taking this ID from the user.json Now I had pasted this novel ID from the novel.json, so I don't have any need to paste it here again. Now let's paste this review title. Yes, we can paste any of the title in the review. Lastly, we had to put the content which we are going to refer there. Let's check it in the reviews.json that if it is edit or not. Okay, so now let's see, so now we can see that good content got appeared in this reviews.json. So this was all about my part of the code. And in the front end also, I had used a comment model in which we can post the comment on the book. For example, I can put a comment here. For example, put book and submit reply. So here the reply got submit and I have to refresh it. Okay, so here we can see that our comment got updated. So this was all about the front end part of the code.